Hello everyone, welcome. Today I'm working on my second layout using the beautiful March 24 color kits from Shimmerz Paints. I fell in love with this bunny rabbit patterned paper and I really wanted to create a simple layout that featured this paper. I decided that I wanted to just tear a small wonky strip out of the center, kind of offset. I guess it's offset to the right a little bit. And I wanted my mixed media to show through on the white cardstock that's behind the paper. So you see how the white core of the paper is showing on the left side, but not the right side? I'm trying to figure out how to tear this so that the white also does not show on the left side. And I have to think about it for a second, but I finally figure it out. My brain just wasn't working very quickly in that moment. Now, I promised y'all this would be the easiest mixed media layout ever. And it most certainly is. I'm literally doing nothing but splattering a little bit of every single color that comes in the color kit this month onto the back of this layout. I start off with Vibes Quit Your Whining, and I just used the nozzle to get big chunky splatters down on the paper for this one. Next up is Inkling's Dear John letter, and this one does need to be water activated. So I put in a little bit, as much as I wanted, because I wanted it to be thicker. So you can add a lot of water and thin it out, or you can add a little bit of water and you get a thicker concentration of color. So the thicker concentration is what I went for here. And then we move on to Shimmerz Spruce It Up. This is a gloriously shimmery product. It's a paint, so it doesn't need to be water activated, but it is thicker. And I needed it to thin down in this case so it would splatter much more easily. Otherwise, it would just be bigger globs that landed on the page. And I needed it to be spread out and smaller. Now, true to fashion, I can't stand to waste anything. I don't know if I'm going to use this color at this point, but it's here down on the paper and I can die cut with it for another layout. Now I'm going to bring in Shimmerz Pink Caviar, and this is another paint product that I want to thin out just a little bit in order to make the splatters that I want. And it is also incredibly shimmery. It's beautiful. You guys, I think you just need to really have these in person or see these in person to understand and fully appreciate how wildly shimmery these particular products are. It's a beautiful color. And again, I do not want to waste it. So I'm actually going to use this piece right here on the layout. I'm going to die cut from it and use it on my layout. And the final product I'm going to splatter with is Vibes Spray in Artichoke. And again, I'm just going to use the nozzle on this one and bring in this really pretty sagey green. I guess it's sagey green. Yeah, it's kind of, it's light and airy. It's I don't know, I guess sagey green. I don't know my colors very well, I suppose. So here are the flowers that I die cut out of the Shimmerz Pink Caviar that I splatted down on the white cardstock. And I'm bringing in the Quit Your Whining Vibes, and I'm just dip my paintbrush in the bottle and painting it on. You can see it's not hard. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. I'm just painting it on with the brush. And you can see there above what I'm doing, the leaves that I die cut out of the Shimmerz Spruce It Up that I splatted down on the paper. There was a possibility, I actually thought that I might use it on this layout with these flowers, but ultimately it ended up just being a little too small, so I didn't use them. But I did die cut some other pieces in larger stems, and I sprayed them with the Vibes Artichoke. And now that I'm thinking about it, I guess that this is maybe less sagey and more artichokey. Imagine that. I don't know. They're smarter than I am, I guess, when they name these. Those ladies are super clever at that, by the way. Okay, so I put the layered flour all together and I zhuzhed up the edges just a little bit, bending them and curling them to make it feel more like a flower. And I'm going to glue it down to the page on a pop dot. So y'all can probably see that the tips of the flowers are a little darker. I actually just painted the tips with the pink caviar in full concentration. And I think it's a perfect example of how you can maybe pull different colors out because it looks slightly peachier in full concentration and slightly pinker when it's watered down. Now the flower needed a center, so I just pulled a jewel from my stash and picked the one that I wanted, and it actually, I feel like it pulls the colors from the bunny rabbit paper so perfectly on this page, so that's the one I had to choose. And now I'm just going to start embellishing the page. And rather than giving you guys a play-by-play of that, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of music, but make sure you stick around to the end because I do have a bonus card project coming up that is absolutely adorable, and I don't think you're going to want to miss it, so stick around. So you guys may remember last week's video where I created the mixed media paste and I didn't want to waste the leftover, so I just ran it through a stencil on a piece of white cardstock. So this week I'm actually making a card with it. The pink card base is 5 5/8 by 8.5, and I cut the polka dot piece to 5 3/8 by 4 1/4. Then I just added the ephemera pieces that I wanted and glued that to the card base, and voila, the easiest card ever. And I'll be sure to add a link to last week's video so you guys can see exactly how I achieved this polka dot look. And that wraps up another video, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. And be sure to check out the Shimmerz store for all of their deliciousness. And when you place an order, add my name and you'll get a free goodie. Thanks again, y'all. Have a lovely crafty day. Bye-bye.